Hi, folks. It's the Eurovision Ireland team, and we're back with our first review of the songs from the 2024 Eurovision Song Contest. I'm going to introduce the team first. We've got James,
Hi everyone.
we have Bogdan,
Hi everyone.
we've got Sarah,
Hi everyone.
and Richard,
Hiya.
and me, John, and Staggy will be popping up from time to time too. He might have lost his voice. Anyway, you'll work out the sort of pattern in which we're taking the songs as we go along. They're to do with the pots that the countries were put into just before the draw. And we're going to do 6 in this show. We're going to do, in alphabetical order, Albania, Austria, Croatia, Serbia, Slovenia, and Switzerland. Anyway, when you watch this, tell us what you think. Tell us if you agree with us, you disagree with us. Is there a potential winner among them? So we're going to kick off, and we're going to start with Serbia. Now, their song's called Ramonda, and it's by Teodora. And she's co-written the song with Adriana Kadovic and Luka Jovanovic, I think. And it's song 2 in the first semi-final. So it's over to James.
So Serbia don't have a very long back catalogue at Eurovision, but they have quite a strong one, I'd argue. And I'm always curious to see what they're going to bring. I mean, very few countries can claim they came into the contest and won it straight away. It's Switzerland and Serbia, essentially. This song, when I heard Teodora, I was like, oh, she's back. And I was like, no, wrong one. I thought it was a girl from Austria again, but no. Apparently quite a common name in Serbia.
Yeah.
This song, first time I listened to it, I was like, it's very gentle, very melodic. It's also quite dark, which I quite like that style of music. It builds beautifully. She's got such an incredible voice, such conviction and emotion in there, which I really like. It's not the traditional Balkan ballad that we're used to from Serbia. It's a very modern interpretation of it, which I quite like. I think this has the potential to do well. Performing second in any situation is never ideal, but I'd argue this is a certain song that could stand out wherever it goes in the running order. I don't see it giving Serbia a second win, but I definitely see it being up there. I see it's the kind of thing that will attract attention for the fact that she can sing. She has an amazing voice. There's a lot in there about sort of Serbian folklore, mythology, and the sort of national conscience. I think if Serbs all over Europe get behind this could do quite well.
Thank you, James. Now, the scoring. What we're going to do, like we've done previous years, is give each song our own personal score out of 10. So that'll obviously give it a total score of 50. We'll put this together with the songs that we're putting together over 6 shows, and we can hopefully pick a Eurovision Ireland winner. Who knows? And it might even match whoever wins in Malmo in May. So, James, do you want to give me your score out of 10 for Serbia?
So I'm going to kick us off, and I'm going to give Serbia a 7.
Okay, and then I'm going to come to Bogdan.
Well, I still love it. I'm gonna give it a 9.
A 9, okay. And Sarah?
I like it. I'll give it a 7.
7. And I'm going to give it a 7. And Richard?
I'm going to give it a 7 too.
Not a 2-7. So Serbia's song scores from us a 37 out of a possible 50. Right, moving on. We're staying in that part of Europe, and we're going to Slovenia. I'll just wait for the flag to appear. There we go. This song is called Veronica, and it's performed by Raven, and it's written because, remember, this is not just a singers contest, it's a songwriters contest as well, and we quite often forget that. So it's written by Bojan Cvetićanin, Danilo Kaipul, Klavdia Kopina, Martin Bezjak, Peter Ko, and Sasha Briski-Chirman. They to argue with me. And so it's over to Bogdan. What do you think of the song, Bogdan?
Thank you, John. Well, I have a bit of a mixed feeling about this song, but let's start with the positives. Like, Raven has a really good voice because I've seen her performances live, the preview parties, and she can definitely sing and hold a tune. The song it's not something new in my opinion. It holds a tune like singing about a lost love and longing. For me, it doesn't quite go anywhere. I do love her voice, I like the song, but I think it would have been better. It doesn't keep me engaged for the whole 3 minutes. However, I do think he's gonna do well and has the potential to qualify.
Thank you, Bogdan. So guys, and we'll start with Bogdan. Your score out of 10 for Slovenia.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
A 6. And Sarah?
I'm going to give it a 5.
5. Okay. I'll come to Richard next.
6.
6. I quite like it. I'm giving it an 8. And James?
I'm going to give it a 7. It's different. I like it.
Okay, so Slovenia scored from us 32. Moving on, we next go to Switzerland. Yeah, we know they're not a Balkan country, but they're in this pot. Now, this song is called The Code. It's been written by Nemo. Now, Nemo is one of the songwriters, along with Benjamin Alassu, Lasse Mitzian Newman, and Linda Dale. And it's performing in the second semi-final, song number 4. I forgot to say that Slovenia are performing the first semi-final, song number 9. Anyway, Sarah, tell us about Switzerland.
Well, as we've all seen, it's topping most of the polls at the moment. And I have to say that on first listening to this, I struggled to understand why. But it's only when you've had a couple of listens and you see the actual preview video that you get the gist of what the song's about. And you actually see the uniqueness and the genius that it actually is. I am very impressed with sort of Nemo's vocal ranges. I mean, how he manages to do so many different vocal ranges in one song is just incredible. Now, obviously, sort of my concern is, can he replicate all this on the stage in Malmo? It's all very well having the song there, but you've got to sort of be able to sort of have the story behind it and be able to transfer that onto the big stage on the big night in Malmo. If he does, I think, yeah, it's definitely going to be up there, and will probably will win. But as I say, if he doesn't, then could we see sort of the big favourite becoming not so much the big favourite? I think it's going to be very interesting to see what he brings to Malmo. But good luck, Nemo.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. So you've heard Sarah's review of Switzerland. What's your score out of 10 for Switzerland, Sarah?
I'd give it a 9. I do actually like it.
Okay, not bad. Richard?
I'm also giving it a 9.
9. Okay, well, I do like it, but I'm only going to give it an 8. Still pretty good, though, I think. James?
I'm going to give it an 8 as well. It's grown on me.
And finally, Bogdan?
Same, an 8 for me.
An 8. So Nemo and the Code score 42 from us. That's leading out of 3. Right, moving on. We are now going to Austria. Now, they're singing a song. They entered a song called We Will Rave, and it's performed by Colleen. And it's been written by, just bear with me, it is Anders Vretov, Jimmy Turnfelt, Julie Orgard, and Thomas Stengard. Some very un-Austrian names in there, but who knows? Now they're performing in the second semi-final, song number 6. Richard, it's over to you.
Right, so like last year's entry, it builds very quickly and is quite upbeat, which is the positives. I felt like there was no story to it, though, and that's what won me over the Austrian entry last year. And I think that's what's the Austrian entry is missing this year. They thought it through properly last year. They knew what they were doing. It's as if they've taken a step back. How it'd be performed on stage, I don't know. Whether she'll have dances, whether she'll be on her own. This one is quite hard to envisage, to be honest with you. But will it qualify? Borderline, I'd say.
That's Richard. Okay. What's your score for Austria then?
I'm going to give it a 7.
7. Okay. I too am going to give it a 7. Just be boring. James?
This is hands down my favourite this year. I'm giving it 10.
Okay.
Not often I disagree with everything Richard says, but
Bogdan?
I'll give it a 7 as well.
7. And Sarah?
I'm in two minds about this. I'm sort of thinking don't like it as much as last year's, but it's still not bad, and I'm going to give it a 7.
7. Okay, so they score 38. Right, moving on, we go to Albania next. Just wait for the flag to appear. Now, that's called Titan, and it's performed by Beza, and it's been written by her along with Fabrice Grandjean, Clary Bakiti, and Glenn Kirker, I believe. I'm sorry if I've got those names wrong. I'm going to lead on that one. Now, it's not a typical Albanian song, which I quite like, actually. It has more of a... I've heard this sort of stuff from songs from the Caucasus before. It sort of has that more sort of a vibe about it. Maybe an Armenian or a Georgian song, or an Azerbaijani song. It's not bad. It's quite contemporary. Her voice reminds me of someone. I think it could be someone like Doja Cat. I could be wrong. It's got a familiar voice to it, which again could strike a chord with the televoters out there. Having said that, I think it might struggle. It's a nice, safe song. There's nothing wrong with it. Safe doesn't win Eurovision. Safe doesn't win Eurovision. When you're in a semi-final, it might get you through a semi-final because it's in the second semi-final and it only has to beat 5 or 6 songs. So it may well beat 5 or 6 songs, but I think once it gets into the final with the big boys, it might struggle a bit. But I'd like to see it do well. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Tirana for 2 weeks for a contest? So yeah, not bad. Better than average for Albania, but I do fear for it, put it that way. And my score for Albania, I'm giving it a nice, steady 7. James, what's your score for Albania?
I'm very much like you. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think it's maybe going to strike a bit. I'm going to give it a 6, though, because I do quite enjoy it.
6, okay. Bogdan?
I enjoy it, but I'm gonna have to give it a 6 as well.
Okay. And Sarah?
I'm not that keen on it. I'm going to give it 5.
5. And finally, Richard?
I'm struggling with it, but knowing Albania could probably put on stage, I'm going to give it a 6.
6. Okay, so a nice steady 30 for Albania. That's out of 50, if you remember. Now, the final one in this show, have we saved the best till last? It's Croatia. It's the one that's been doing the rounds. We know it's called Sagidim, and it's by Baby Lasagna, and it's also written by him under his name as Marko Purisic. And it's performing in the first semi-final at song number 7. A nice middling sort of running order song for it there. And we're going to go back to James. Over to you.
Hey, I'm a big boy now. I mean, this is just grabbed your attention. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, Croatia, your carrier is showing. The thing is, it's very visual, very in your face, very lots of things that I'm struggling to describe. But the one thing I will say is, even though it's sort of very wacky and out there, and I mean, he's singing to his cat at one point, which I can think of at least 3 people that will vote for it purely because of that. It's a song with a message. And even though I feel like that message might get lost in the sort of general madness that we're going to see, I think songs with messages always tend to do well. Now, I know for a while it was top of the betting odds for quite a few weeks. I am not convinced this is going to take us back to Zagreb, but I think it's probably going to give Croatia their best finish at Eurovision for quite a few years, and I welcome that. And it just proves that any country can do well at Eurovision. You know, every year is different. It's not as rhythmic as as people would sometimes argue. But yeah, I think this is a bold choice, Croatia, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you. And of course, he was only a wild card entry into Dora, so he might not even have been in there. Anyway, James, you got to give Baby Lasagna a score. What is your score out of 10?
I'm going to give him a 7 for sheer bonkersness.
7. Bogdan, what's your score for Croatia?
Rating Tagri 8.
10?
8.
8, sorry.
And
Sarah?
It's another one that I'm in two minds about. I think probably I'll give it an 8.
8. And Richard?
I'm giving it a 9. I like it.
9. It's getting a 9 off me as well. Getting a 9 off me, which gives it a score of 41. Now, if you're looking, you'll see all the scores will feature above and below where our little pictures here. So you'll see how we think. What do you think of our 6 songs tonight? Now, before we sign off, I'm just going to quickly around the room. The question: is there a potential winner? Is there a potential classic among this group of 6 songs? And I'll start with James.
Potential winner, yes, I think there are at least 2 potential winners in this group. As for songs that will stand the test of time, I mean, that will always remain to be seen. I think winners always tend to stand the test of time. So, again, those 2, I think, potentially.
Thank you. Thank you. Bogdan?
I do see 2 potential winners among these songs. And the test of time, of course, why not? At least 1 song out of those 2.
Thank you. Sarah?
I can see at least 2 in there.
I think we're all starting to think of the same too, unless you've got other ideas, Richard.
No, but I can see it being the same situation as last year, where one will win the jury vote, one will win the public vote, but which one will win overall? And I think I know which one probably would win, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
Yeah. 2 potential winners in there. Of course, we've got a long way to go in the stage shows to see, so that could completely change the views of things. So that's it. Our first review of the songs taking part in the 2024 Eurovision Song Contest. Stay tuned because we've got another 5, yes, 5 to come over the coming days. So we'll do a quick sign off. I'll go around the room again in a different order. Goodbye from Richard.
Bye.
From Sarah.
Bye.
From Bogdan.
Bye.
From James.
Bye, everyone.
And from me and Staggy. Bye.